analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. Rigathi Gachagua attacks on President William Ruto that for so long had been regarded just as revenge tantrums continues to cause discomfort on William Ruto's curly axis that are now pushing for his arrest. And in this podcast, we're going to look and delve deep as to why it has not become so easy, and the security chiefs that are supposed to execute an arrest warrant of arrest against Rigathi Gachagua are a bit lukewarm and cannot effect such a warrant. What are the technicalities around it, and what is the profile of Rigathi Gachagua? But before we look at that, I want to say that today on Monday, I traveled to Kakamega, Msanda, to assess and of course meet the elderly women we are supporting. And I can tell you that what I actually captured today is really shocking. We really need to support. If you see in this house, there are three. There are two elderly women with the other young one there. These two stay there in that house the way it is. It is not even safe. So apparently what happened is that one of these elderly members of one of the granny here, actually she had a place. The house went down and then the place became very hostile. Even for her, she could not stay. So what was resorted is she stays with this one in house. They share that house. But now the lady who is there was their support system. So these amongst the three, when the photos were shared, I thought they were staying in different places. Actually, the two stay in one place. Place moja. So what we are going to do is we are going to build for nyumba unaishi sahihi moja. Then after that, that is the one we are starting tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we'll build for the other granny. Akona shamba kwao mali oleka, where the house went down. But because of the poor support system that was not there, they had to be put here, as now the community and the well-wishers were trying just to find out how they can cope up. So we are going to sort each one of them. Alafu huyu ambao unaona mguu yake imefura, huyo ndiye alikuwa anawasaidia. But now because of that condition, which I think is something that she has been, is also been able to support them. And so they actually stranded in that house. So we are going to build, huyu mwenye nyumba atajengewa hapa, then huyu mwingine, the other granny, anaenda kujengewa kwingine where he was married. So
Mr. Man, mimi hakuna nyumba. Mimi nataka kama Mungu nakubali usaidie nijengee nyumba. Naweza shukuru. Kwa maana hakuna uwezo.
Na kungonjwa? Kungonjwa?
Okay.
atoke kwa nyumba, huyu ataishi baki peke yake. They're not even related. But of course, because of the community love. So I can tell you that really we have a long way to do. I already have 53,740. So we're going to start the first house tomorrow. We still have a huge deficit, but I believe that as I still here, whatever amount you can send, kesho tununue mabati, tulipe mafundi, hii nyumba ya kwanza ianze. Kindly contribute any amount you can get, 100 bob challenge, and I believe that will support. So this is the voice of yule mwenye tunaenda kumjengea mbali mwenye si hapa. Yes, so that is it. Yeah, at least anaweza ongea Kiswahili. Of course, for that age, the beat sometimes cannot even be able to express themselves, but she's the one now doing that appeal that aende jengewe kwake, at least akipata nyumba itakuwa sawa. And I want to say thank you. Tukimaliza hawa tutajengea huyu ambaye alikuwa anawasaidia. Huyu pia hana Now, immediately Rigathi Gachagua dared President Ruto not to step in Meru if Martha Koome is impeached here. Ruto handlers reprimanded the security chiefs, and as their custom, asking why they cannot act on the statements by the former deputy president, who has now gone out and is attacking the president outrightly. And it is actually reported that no one has ever told a sitting president that don't step to my place. And they felt a bit disturbed of that statement. But take a minute.
Hii maneno kama sasa rais amepanga kufukuza Justice Martha Koome. And I want to tell you, my people of Meru, huyu rais tulimchagua, tulimpenda. Alikuja na Biblia, tukafikiria ni Mkristo, mtu mzuri. Alitudanganya, hakutudanganya. Tukamchagua. Kufika pale ametumia hiyo kiti kumaliza watu ya Mount Kenya. Ameanza na Rigathi Gachagua, amemfukuza. Akarudi akafukuza Metheka. Sasa amepanga jama ya kumfukuza Martha Koome. Na amepanga pale kotini anahonga watu kufukuza Martha Koome. Mimi nakuuliza Rais William Ruto, hii watu ya mlima walikupenda, walikupatia kura, uliwadanganya na Biblia. Umeamua kumaliza watoto wote kutoka mlima. Kiongozi yeyote ambaye hako na msimamo, umetupangia jama ya kutufukuza katika serikali katika Kenya. Na anataka akifukuza hii watu, amalize biashara zote za watu ya mlima Kenya. Lakini mimi nakuambia rais, ukifukuza Martha Koome, usikanyange hapa Meru. Mimi nataka nikuambie, ulifukuza Rigathi Gachagua, watu ya mlima wakanyamaza. Ukafikiria ni waoga. Tunakuambia rais, wewe panga jama, ufukuze Martha Koome, na wewe ukae Nairobi, usikanyange hapa Meru tena ukifukuza Martha Koome. Negwadwa ito. Nemwetekera Martha Koome igato. Mtakubali? Kwani wa Meru mmekuwa waoga? Unajua, this is too much now.
There was a time the president was visiting Bungoma, and Paul Otuoma made a statement saying that, I don't know, Kalonzo and who and so should not step to Busia. Akisema, si tunajua venye tunadili na wale ambao hatuwataki hapa Busia. I want you to listen to that. The statement that Otuoma made there, he was standing right in front of the President of the Republic of Kenya. The same statement is the same as what Rigathi said in Meru. That kama ametoa, and he said kama ametoa Martha Koome, and if you listen to the context of Rigathi's statement, kama ametoa Martha Koome, asikanyage hapa kama. Now, the Star has actually said that President Ruto's team questioned the President Ruto's team, security team, that are a bit hesitant on executing such orders. And I want to read for you a snippet of this article. This audacity, okay. However, in all the years, this kind of, as far as tribal regional politics go, they don't step in our land philosophy remains the most base and crass. However, in all the years, this kind of politics has dominated the land. No one has ever told the president to keep off any part of the country. This audacity speaks on how much the Kenyan security apparatus has decided to indulge Gachagua, perhaps believing that holding him responsible for utterances bordering on the national security threats may shake the delicate political instability in the country. And this is it. If Rigathi is arrested today, do you think the political landscape will not change? Someone was saying that when they secure the deal with Raila, if Raila now public endorses Rigathi, President Ruto, then the next thing he will do is to go and arrest Rigathi. But the security chiefs are a bit hesitant because they know very well. In fact, let me tell you, who is the head of intelligence? Nordin Haji. Nordin Haji already is reported to be having a beef with Rigathi. Who is the DCI? Mohammed Amin. There is already, the northeastern folks are reported to be having already a beef with Rigathi. In any case, the fellows in that security docket, majority of them come from that side. If an arrest, who is supposed to arrest Rigathi? Probably DCI, and then DPP to process the charges. And probably the whole this did a multi-sectoral, multi-security sectoral approach for it, multi-agency approach for it even to be executed. In that end, it will not even take an angle. There is already something of Kikuyu versus the northeastern aspect, that stupid narrative that the political and the ruling class were actually bringing. So they're very keen on what they do, because the truth of the matter, we can dismiss Rigathi Gachagua because we don't know his profile. He's never been a presidential candidate. We don't know how much votes he can have in a presidential election. And we have all many narratives and theories around Rigathi. But the truth of the matter is that Rigathi Gachagua also has an active constituency in this country. Ruto team are annoyed on how Rigathi even countered the Western tour. Remember, after the Western tour, Rigathi was attending the DAPK, I think it was DAPK party launch in in Karen. And he said something on Musangariri, that the president, it is the turn for the president to lie for the Western people. He went with, in Mount Kenya, with Masalamus, now he went back to Western with Musangariri. And even in Machakos, he ripped Ruto apart.
Sia alikuwa na dharau mimi ati ni mtu mdogo. Alikuwa amenidharau ati atanifukuza, wiki mbili nitasaulika. Nimechukua kila mtu alikuwa kwake. Sasa yeye ni minority katika Kenya. Sasa yeye vile niliondoa watu yangu, saa hii huyu Raila Odinga akimwambia Ruto amuoshe miguu atamuosha. Because amekwama. Ni kama mgonjwa akiwa katika ICU ako kwa life support machine. Life support machine ya William Ruto today ni Raila Odinga. Ikizimwa kisha. And it is because yeye alitudharau. Akifikiria sisi ni watu tu kawaida. Sasa yeye ni minority. Hii uchaguzi sisi tukiweka candidate yetu, hii mzee aunge mkono kama atamuunga mkono, mwingine asimame, William Ruto atakuwa namba 4 ama namba 3 akijaribu.
You can like him, you can have your dislike against Rigathi, but one thing you cannot take away from him is that he is the person that crushes William Ruto in the current political dispensation. Apart from the two gentlemen that are crushing the president, Rigathi and Sifuna. Remember, the former DP security were reinstated, but it was still become difficult to infiltrate. Rigathi of late moves in a long convoy with Mount Kenya rebel MPs around him, and even with his church, with his wife, when going to church events. Effort by the state to deny him media airtime seem to have backfired, and I've seen Opondo Kaluma saying that the media should stop giving Gachagua airtime. And I understand that space. There is a theory of numbers in media. The media will build you and the media can crush you. I don't think the media is building Rigathi. It is Rigathi that has built a media platform, a media liking, a media attraction. Remember that media is also in business. If you know that if I put Rigathi, I interview Rigathi for 1 hour, I'm going to get numbers in my screen. If I write articles on Rigathi Gachagua, I'm going to get clicks on my story. If I'm going to put Rigathi in the headline, I'm going to sell more newspapers in Mount Kenya surely. What will stop them from doing that? And as we talk now, there is a vacuum that probably don't want to accept, but the government can never be popular, I agree. And again, in any political arrangement, there is always an opposition. President made a mistake, absorbed the opposition, of course, took the parliament, the legislature, and is now taking over the judiciary. So the people remained hopeless. Rigathi emerges as the voice to fill that vacuum. And that voice you cannot ignore. Recently, NCIC wrote a cessation letter to Rigathi over what they termed as insightful remarks in the country. But why is arresting Rigathi Gachagua a delicate venture even for President Ruto himself? Rigathi has silent sympathizers even hanging around Ruto. I can tell you, there are so many politicians from Mount Kenya who are hanging around Ruto because they want to still milk the cow. A good example, do you remember Wamatangi? Wamatangi, when Irungu Kang'ata was de-whipped as the Senate majority leader, no, actually yes, as the Senate majority, as Senate whip, it is Wamatangi who took over that position. It was Wamatangi who took that position. It could have been majority, yes, it was Wamatangi who took over the whip. But at the same time, Uhuru Kenyatta thought Wamatangi was with him. But at the last hour, Wamatangi crossed over and joined UDA. Now that is what is happening. The MPs coalescing around Ruto are just looking for a trigger. And then when they find a collective trigger, they will all run away from Ruto's shadow. I think the president understands that arrest of Rigathi would boost his political profile, and I can tell you, the people. Do you remember during 22 election when Rigathi used to say that Uhuru sent DCI and DCI raped, took him naked in front of his family, and some gullible Kenyans believed that story. That there was nothing like that. That can't be it. Rigathi was arrested, kwanza alishikwa, alikuwa anaonekana, the photos akionekana very clear. But Rigathi is a man who knows how to exaggerate. And I can tell you, so many people believed what he said then. Even me nowadays akiongea, I know there are some things he's saying, and I know this one is an exaggeration. He an exaggerate, he ego hivyo. And I want to tell you arrest him today, then tomorrow you release him. What is he going to say of his experience in that jail? He's going to crash and bring that house down. So he's a man he's a man who understands the political propaganda tool and he can really use it. Lastly, I think Ruto fears being seen as going personal with Rigathi. The people who said, ulinitoa kwa serikali nimekuacha, wachana na mimi sasa. And you need to understand, it is not only Rigathi talking about going head on with the president or talking about this in statements. The president himself went to some other part of the country and said, I'm building new roads because for quite some time, money was just going to a specific region. Was that not setting one region against the other? There was a member of parliament who was standing in front of the president in Bungoma, Dan Wanyama, and he said that the whole country should unite so that they isolate Mount Kenya. Was that not an incitement? There was another MP, the Otuma, was saying, those who visit Bungoma will know how to deal with them. There was another Farah Malim who said very abusive words on Ruto's critics. So these things happen. It is not when you pick Rigathi, it will be very clear that you go personal. But 4, I think the security chiefs are keen not to be seen as meddling as the state using machinery against dissidents. And the president is very keen on this. Now that you have Raila on your end, does not mean you need now to use the state machinery. Railas are people who can jump anytime. And I think they're so keen on how they go about this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. I'm back with an interesting one on Ruto's stand with the monetary. Thank you.